if there's anybody that can march forward and absorb damage and just push a pace and break someone, it's going to be Costa. But I just think that this matchup is a little more tailor-made for Adesanya than people give him credit for. I mean, this is a guy, he is a sharpshooter. I mean, Costa's all about the hooks, the big body shots, the big hooks. And for a guy like Izzy, he's going to step back and he's going to slide back half a step and he's going to counter with straight punches. So I think that this fight is tailor-made for Israel Adesanya. As long as the smaller octagon doesn't interfere with his movement, I see him winning this fight pretty handedly.
I think Israel Adesanya, if Costa comes at him the way he has come at other fighters, I definitely go with Israel Adesanya. I think that's a counterpuncher's dream, is a guy like Paulo Costa. Hey, we're talking about Biggie. He's a big target. He swings wide punches, a lot of room for a slick counter striker, which is exactly what Israel Adesanya is. If you're Paulo Costa, if I was coaching for this fight, I go do what essentially Romero did. Make him come to you. Do not initiate, don't lead. I don't think Costa can fight that way. You know, the pacing it takes to beat Israel Adesanya, I don't know if Costa has that in his DNA. He's going to go in like the Hulk and try and knock his head off. I think that leads to exactly what Israel Sada wants, which is slick counter-striking.
I like it because they're both giving it back to each other. I'm enjoying the trash talk. I like the fight a lot. From a competitive standpoint, it's great. They're both undefeated. Costa had the one really close. Well, I guess they both had the really close fights with Romero. So I think Adesanya is going to win. That's my feeling. Is he's just going to outstrike him. He's a little slicker. He's going to move a little better. That's my feeling, but I wouldn't be shocked if I get it wrong. The one time I feel like that Adesanya has missed with the crowd is that fight with Romero was lame. And he didn't admit it was lame. When he said, like, I effed up his leg, I mean, like, have you ever heard someone say that in your life? That you sound ridiculous. And that's like the only time I felt like he's missed. I felt like he should have been honest and just said, hey, man, the guy's got a lot of power. I had to fight strategically. I fought strategically. I won. That's the point of this whole damn thing.
I think Izzy. I think Izzy gets it done. Costa's on good for like two rounds. Like, it's dangerous for two or three rounds, but after that, he slows down and gasses, right? It'd be a good fight. It'd be an entertaining fight. But I think Izzy will be too sharp for him, and he'll walk onto something and Izzy get a victory.
Israel's very good. He's very good at picking people apart, especially when he has the advantages in reach and length. The thing is, though, Costa's huge. Like, he's a big guy, and he's got chin, and he's very, very strong and powerful. And but he does fade off. You know, like, it's hard to say. I can see both guys winning at different points. Like, Costa can certainly, if he gets in and lands one of his big hands on him, he's gonna do some damage. But I can also see Israel picking him apart for 5 rounds. I think Adesanya has the skill set to beat Costa. I think he does. I think he has the experience and the skills to beat him, to edge away, and to pick him apart. The thing is, though, like you mentioned much earlier, Costa is an X factor. His physique, his strength, his power, his cardio, his chin. All of that is abnormal. So you put that in an octagon with anybody, and it's hard. It's very hard to make picks. If I was a betting man, I'd lean towards Adesanya, but otherwise it wouldn't be much. There wouldn't be much in it.
I consider Paulo Costa a technical striker at all. I think he's a brawler. You've seen him do it time and time again. He breaks people. For a guy that shredded and that big, he's got cardio for days. This guy, when he beat what was it? Was it who did he beat?
Uriah Hall and then Yoel Romero.
Yeah, it was Uriah Hall. Yeah, it was Uriah Hall first. He broke Uriah Hall. He broke him mentally. He gave up out there. And of course, you're not going to break Yoel Romero. And those guys fought pretty much exactly the same. Came forward and just swung for the fences. For someone like Izzy Adesanya, he's got the potential to finish this guy second or third round. Izzy is a counter striker. He waits for guys to make their mistakes. He takes advantage of it. And I think this falls right into his game plan, what he does best for Izzy. The guy's aggressive. Paulo Costa's aggressive, and he swings. He's got a lot of big movement in his striking. He loops his strikes, which is going to be perfect for somebody like Izzy to just take a half a step back and counter back with a right hand or a left hook, kind of like he did with Robert Whitaker, right? And Robert Whitaker, I believe, is faster than Paulo Costa. The only thing about Paulo Costa is that he's durable. He's very, very durable. He's very tough to finish. I think after the first round, maybe Paulo Costa, if Izzy can tire him out just a little bit, it's going to slow him down. And Izzy Adesanya is going to just be able to have, a field day, counter-striking this guy. So I think I got my man Izzy. I think winning that fight. And Paulo Costa, he's tough. He talks a lot of crap. He's got a physique like no other. I remember at UFC 217, he was fighting. He fought Johnny Hendricks, and Johnny Hendricks, in the back, we were going to the venue. He had so much confidence. This guy, Johnny was like, "Yo, I can't wait to get out there and beat the crap out of this guy." Anyway, we're in the opposite corner, and I see this dude come in with glasses, nice shirt, and he takes his shirt off and starts hitting mitts, and I'm like, "Who the heck is this guy? He's gonna kill whoever." I remember Chris Weidman was back there too. He's like, "Who is this guy?" I mean, just shredded and bulk, just like freaking jacked. And I'm like, "Dude, he's fighting Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks he's gonna murder Johnny Hendricks." He almost did. He almost did murder Johnny Hendricks. I feel so bad for him. That's the first time I ever saw Paulo Costa. And I think Izzy, knowing what I know Izzy can do, I think he can finish Paulo Costa.
Boachinha used to be in my camp. He used to be on, and Boachinha is a very tough guy, very strong, very durable. And you have on the other side a guy who's very crafty. He's very, very awkward and different. But I think Israel doesn't have a lot of good hands. He really has a mix of the hands and the feet, but he's not a good boxer. Versus Boachinha is a very good hand. He learned a lot of stuff with me. A great boxer, and I think he has a chance until the third round. If this pass, I think the fight will go to Israel. So that's why people like, it's two strikers. We know that we're not going to expect the fight on the ground. And I think that's what sells. Like, remember, it's not MMA, it's a combat sport. So both guys are combat athletes. They like to strike, and that's what sells.
Is that I'm always seeing the styles more than Adesanya is the champ, he's gonna beat everybody, or Whittaker or whatever. It's all about the styles, man. I believe that Costa is beating Adesanya. I believe that Adesanya is beating Whittaker. So it's all about the styles. His physique and power and pressure, combined with that he's fearless. He goes in there and he pours it on you. I think that's hard to handle. If somebody would be a little bit smaller and not as powerful and as reckless, that wouldn't be a great idea. But I believe that combined with his power and his physique, it's hard to handle that kind of style that he brings.
I have Izzy winning. He has a massive reach advantage, and he knows how to use his reach. And he also has extremely good footwork. Paulo is kind of a plodding, straightforward kind of fighter, and Izzy moves well laterally. So you all know what happens when you get a well-moving fighter against a straightforward fighter.
We can reflect back on a lot of Israel's fights where he's fought guys with big power and guys that were a lot more technically sound than Paulo Costa. But at the end of the day, we haven't fought Paulo Costa, and he seems to have. He seems to be a very, powerful striker, and you just the part that you just never know till you're in the cage is, how powerful this person is. Like, can Israel deflect his shots? Can Israel move out the way of his shots? That's the part that we never really know until the opening 30 or 40 seconds, and that's sort of always the most nervous time. But I think Israel can mitigate his power, and then what I think will happen is he just doesn't have enough diversity in his striking to stay with Israel during the fight, to stay on equal par with Israel. You can't, if you're just relying on your power, you have nothing to back that up. There's nothing behind that. There's no other plan that you know intimately. then it's just not going to be enough. It's not going to be diverse enough to keep up with Israel.
Guys, then I have just one question. Adesanya, why you freezing? Why you frozen when you face Romero? You are not the real champion, man. You don't deserve. I will kill you.
This fight is gonna be what I expect it to be. It's not. I've never been in a boring fight in my life. You know, that was my first one and last one. So this fight, I'll pick up where I left off. I needed a dip in my story, and that was the dip in my story. So now we move on and up.